President Trump continuing his push for peace, confirming there has been progress with Iran over nuclear talks.
On Iran, has the U.S. given them a formal proposal? Has Steve Witkoff handed that over?
Yeah, they have a proposal, but more importantly, they know they have to move quickly, or something bad's going to happen.
So here to discuss this, retired four-star general, Fox News senior strategic analyst, chairman of the Institute for the Study of War, General Jack Keane. General, first off, on the overall sense of the trip, you really feel like the president accomplished a lot. In what way?
Well, it's obvious, the economic benefit of the trip with the deals that were made. But for me, I mean, when I look at this and what took place and President Trump's strength, it's a return of strong American leadership, not only to the region, but the whole world is watching it. This is his first international trip. And there's been a flurry of activity since, obviously, he took over the presidency after the inauguration. But here, this is a seminal event, I think, which sets the stage for President Trump in dealing internationally. And he's coming at it from a position of strength, and he reverses all the failed policies of the Biden administration just simply when you focus on the Middle East, appeasing Iran, never shutting down Iran's proxies who were trying to drive the United States out of the region. Brian, they attacked us over 300 times in those 4 years in the Biden administration where U.S. troops were in the region. And obviously Iran operationalized the proxies to destroy the state of Israel with Hamas and Hezbollah. And they never shut down the Houthis, who was firing at U.S. Navy ships with ballistic missiles. Not to speak of shutting down international trade in the Suez Canal and the Red Sea. And President Trump has shut all of that down. It underscores the strong American global leadership that exists in the world today.
And they in the region look at Iran as a threat. They don't bring it up, but they know it. And when we show weakness with Iran, they get worried. By the way, the president sat down with Bret Baier. It's going to air tonight. They sent over one clip as it relates to Iran. Here's what he said.
Iran wants to trade with us, okay, if you can believe that, and I'm okay with it. I'm using trade to settle scores and to make peace. But I've told Iran, we make a deal, you're going to be very happy. But more than anything, I've told Iran very simply, because I heard somebody making my case last night on television. I didn't like it, because they were saying there's plenty of time. There's not plenty of time. There's not plenty of time.
You feel urgency.
Well, they're not going to have a nuclear weapon, and eventually they'll have a nuclear weapon, and then the discussion becomes a much different one.
Your take from that, and that evidently we did give them some type of offer, and that has got which contains zero enrichment.
Well, yeah, certainly. I mean, the president's position is unequivocal. You cannot enrich uranium. What does that really mean? It means you have to dismantle your nuclear enterprise program, which are the centrifuges that enriches uranium, the facilities at which they do that, and those are those major secret sites. And then along with that are the ballistic missiles that deliver them. And certainly you cannot allow to have enriched uranium, which qualifies you to have a nuclear weapon. That has to be taken away. They have close to 600 tons of it that would have to be gone. And, Iran has a civil nuclear power plant right now, one, and they get the uranium from Russia, interesting enough. All of this enriched uranium they have, they're not using on their civil nuclear power plants, which begs the question, why don't they have 5 or 6 if that's what they're really interested in?
Right.
Given they have the capability to build a civil nuclear power plant, of course they still want a nuclear weapon. You have to have that in the back of your mind going forward. And the reason why we have to take the enterprise down is because they cheat. And they'll do it someplace else, which they have always done. They have 12 different sites that they do this stuff at, and only some of those sites have anybody ever been there.
We just found another one a couple of weeks ago, General.
Anywhere, anytime inspections has got to be critical, or the deal will fall apart in execution because they will cheat. In other words, we decide where to go and inspect. In other words, our inspectors who are appointed to do that, not Iran. Iran has always designated where you can go and when you can go. That's got to be off the table. anywhere, anytime inspection verify.
Right. Don't fund the proxies. No ballistic missiles. That has to be included. They've been locked out of Syria, and they've pretty much isolated as their proxies have taken a real beating outside the Houthis. General Jack Keane, so much going on. We didn't even touch on Russia, where the president's talking about going one-on-one with Vladimir Putin. Thanks so much, General. We'll appreciate. I'll talk to you throughout the weekend. Meanwhile,
yeah,
One
you
Nation.
guys have a wonderful weekend.
You got it. Thank you, sir.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.